So the last panel actually got me sort of excited to talk about this aspect of things, because as our discussion was moving along, a lot of the things that I thought at first I was going to say already came out, right? The legal challenges that you face when trying to assist in a legal and effective warfighting effort is information driven. Tunnels, like buildings, yes, but I think I agree with the principle that more greatly so, create what I call an information vacuum. My last operational job before I came to start working more scholarly on international law in the last few years was as a brigade judge advocate. My particular assignment was with 2nd BCT in Iraq in 2016. I was that BJA, that lawyer assigned down to the brigade level, whose job it was to try to help us help another force to clear Mosul. And what I think it really highlights is a lot of what came up in this discussion, that the unwieldy nature of this legal framework is only intensified when we, as a military, are partnered the way we are now. Short of a near-peer fight, for the foreseeable future, our forces find themselves, and the lawyers like me accompanying those forces, we find ourselves trying to help other people to do this the right way. So in 2016, the officers that I was advising were trying to help Iraqi counterparts to clear the city of Mosul and the outskirts and move in effectively and lawfully. And I remember where I was the first time one of the company commanders called and said, so we just we're doing a perimeter sweep. We've moved up to a new safe house, and we're in the city of Bartala, and so we're right on the outskirts of Mosul. We're getting ready to start moving the actual offensive. And we just went into a house, and there's a tunnel coming out of the ground of this house. These were not company commanders that were brand new. These weren't the senior enlisted folks that were advising. The only people we even sent to Iraq in 2016 were all senior. None of them were new, and yet for our forces, they did not know exactly what they were supposed to do, nor did they feel necessarily equipped to do it. And me as the lawyer thought, I don't know, but the ISR feed did not tell me there was a tunnel. I don't know where it's going. I assume it's bad because most people don't have tunnels coming up through their kitchen floor. So that's probably a nefarious purpose, but I've got nothing, because in this fight, the way we fight now, so technology driven, that information vacuum took the wind right out of our sails. It made it so difficult for me to know whether or not I was advising properly and to set up a commander to make the right decision, because we just don't know. I can tell you we've got 75 straight hours of soaking ISR, right? Just sustained, persistent ISR over that house, but I never knew there was a tunnel coming up through the kitchen floor. So I don't know what's happening. And I think legally even more interesting maybe than just that problem, because it's not the first time we've had information vacuums. And we work, I can't remember the gentleman who was just briefing who said, look, there was a time when we couldn't see in buildings, now technology can see into buildings. And it's true, we will figure out ways. I am sure of that. But I think an extra interesting legal aspect to this problem is that right now, so often, we find ourselves trying to help other people to solve this legal problem and to navigate through it. And it really shows you how clunky it is. I do fall somewhat on the side of believing that the law doesn't have to change. It just has to be applied to a new set of facts. We resist new. In my family, my maiden name is DeMuro. We always say DeMuros resist change. We're classic Italian family. We are like, nope. We resist change. I think a lot of people resist change because they think it's an unknown. I don't believe that the law lacks the ability to address this problem at all. I think every time technology grows, we find a new information vacuum, and then we figure out how to deal with it. And I think that the principles that we operate under, whether they're the 4 or the 5, but overall, they can account for this, just like cyber. It's just a matter of recognizing that there's something new and then saying, okay, well, let's not freak out. The law is still the same 4 to 5 principles. We're still asking the same questions. And that was the challenge we encountered in 2016, was sort of everyone stop worrying about this being new, but recognize that it is definitely a threat we have to figure out how to equip down to the, I agree, sir, down to the lower levels, so that it's not me and the brigade commander sitting up next to the 3-star Iraqi general we were advising that are encountering this tunnel and dealing with it right then. It is down to the lowest level. And we have got to, I believe, grow our training so that the law just fits in as seamlessly as it does with things people are a lot more used to working with. There was a long time where ISR was super fancy 10 years ago. Now, every private in the Army knows when they hear the ISR feed is up, shadows on station. Everybody knows what those things mean now. We can get there too. But for me, it really, when I heard about this topic and had the opportunity to be a part of this panel, and I admit I know my small little slice, so I'm sure that everyone's going to have a lot more interesting, specific things to say. But for me, I remembered that call I got. And it wasn't the only time we got that call about tunnels, but I remember that first one and thinking, I actually don't know the right legal question. Can we throw something down there and see what happens? I mean, no one lives in the house anymore, but where does this thing go? What does it mean? And is that even the right answer? I mean, half of the problem, right, was the commanders just trying to figure out if that's even what they wanted to do. So that's sort of my perspective on things, and I welcome the insights of the rest of the group as we keep talking, and any questions that anyone might have that I could provide any illumination on. Thank you.